Chinsegut Hill, Brooksville, Florida, Sunday, July 1st, 1906. Dearest Sister, this is our 36th consecutive day at Chinsegut the Beautiful. Much has been done on the matter of laying permanent foundations. Much is remaining to be done before it can be said that our haven is not an ongoing concern. Still, progress is manifest, and if I am permitted to remain through this month, I shall be thankful and for the present satisfied. Fielder is the incarnation of happiness in all simpler, amicable ways. Dixie flourishes. He's a little fat, but his appetite never fails him, and while his feed is reduced, the rich grass keeps him a little overweight. However, as he is doing very little work, it is of no consequence. I am having the livery teams haul all our material from town for $2 per load. Gracie has broken down completely, and I'm finishing his job with Will Baker and others. Some liens have been filed against the property, but I'm taking care of all this and will have everything clear or arranged for before I leave. It is quite clear this rainy season that a new roof will have to be put on the main house before next year's rains. If possible, I shall get the shingles, and if weather permits, put them on before I leave. The old roof leaks in a number of places, but the contents of the house are carefully guarded against a wetting. Much of this leaking is due to the bad work of Bracing Company, but the old roof is giving out all over. 14 years of service is a goodly period for pine shingles in this moist atmosphere. Some time long ago, you wrote that no one could have a home that did not work, suffer, and live for it. By this token, Chinsegut is our home. I have failed in some of the most important of my public responsibilities because of the need here. I do not know that I can ever regain the confidence and support of some of my friends in Chicago, strained as it has been the incident to this long absence at a critical time. But the assault made upon me last spring, and the nature of the work that is laid out before me, has determined me to do this foundation work now, lest it never otherwise get done by me. I can faintly guess what the place has cost you, more, however, than all places in the world have or can. This I know. But it is worth all it cost if the old standards of what is desirable are maintained. The days are a succession of wonder and beauty on earth and sky. Cool breezes make one certain that the sea is just beyond the timberline in all directions, and on the observatory the salt gathers in one's face as if the wind were shot full of ocean spray. These have been 5 glorious special scenes. Number 1 was the sunrise on the 21st of June. We watched the day break from the observatory, joined by a breeze that seemed just off the sea. There was that curious sky, small flakes around the horizon, wavy streams up to the zenith, and occasional mountain peaks pushing through here and there. The early glow reached completely around the horizon, fell in waves over the stern fields, dying only in the depths of the outermost rim of the distant forest. We counted 6 mockingbirds singing joyously within the lines of the yard fence. The outer rim of the yard has been plowed, and from this freshly turned soil came that odor, a certain rich tang that only a farmer's boy ever quite understands. Never have I felt more deeply the beauty of this, God's world. Number 2. On last Tuesday, the morning was terribly hot in the open fields. One of my hands working on the drains from the house was overcome with the heat. About 4 p.m., the sky became overcast, and lowering clouds hung close until 6 o'clock. Then a great wind came out of the east, and mighty clouds swift from north to south, slowly enveloping the visible world. Crash after crash of thunder, flashes of lightning, indescribably vivid and varied and splendid, and a wind that swayed the great oak and shook the house broke again and again over Chinsegut. We stayed in the observatory until the black night had settled down, clinging to the rail posts wet to the skin, great waves of rain dashing over us, swept by the wind, entranced by the glory of the lightning, and exclaiming, "How like a magnificent storm at sea!" Number 3. During one of the recent storms, just as the sun was setting, over on the southwest rim of the forest, apparently laying quite in the trees, a rainbow stretched out seemingly some 300 yards. None of it was visible in the sky, but all on the tops of the great pines, changing their wonderful green to all the colors of sun and water. This extraordinary and beautiful phenomenon I had seen once as a boy when visiting the snows, but it had passed from mind until recalled by this splendid repetition. Number 4. On the evening of the 26th, just while we were eating supper, the sun broke from behind a cloud and covered the earth and sky with a glow that is seen only just before setting sun, against a background of cloud and after a storm. When we reached the roof, a perfect rainbow stretched across the sky from southwest to northeast, the colors following each end with perfect distinction into the top of the pines at either end of the rainbow. Soon a second rainbow appeared, and we saw a perfect double rainbow, clear and distinct in every part for the first time in either of our lives. Number 5. After the rains during the summer and early morning and late evening, a great bank of mist sometimes rises, waves on waves stretching out over the timber to the horizon lines. Some days ago, just at sunset after a day of rain, the sun broke through the clouds and was caught and held in these great waves of mist. I say caught and held, and yet it transformed this mist into shimmering gold, and later into flames. It seemed as if the whole great hammock was in a mighty conflagration, and all would be destroyed, wrapped as it was, by waves of flame. Fielder got your letter a few days ago and was very happy. He is as loyal to you as he is to me, and thinks we're both the incarnation of wisdom and goodness. Some of the things we've done: built Fielder a good brick chimney, built all needed piers under the house, that meant 9 additional made of brick and cement, put in gates after widening out the yard enclosure so that the top of the fence just reaches the slope of the hill from the house in the 4 chief directions. Built a rock foundation for the spring after cleaning out all the debris and walled up with brick to protect water from waste on surface. Built a 20 by 20 brick and cement reservoir 7 feet deep for water supply. Put in an 8-inch tile drain from the house southwest 226 feet to carry off all the wastewater from the house and kitchen. Part of the ditch for this was 4.5 feet deep. Laid out and partially completed a road down the hill that, in the opinion of Mr. Fulton, is the prettiest and most satisfactory approach to the place. With this opinion I fully concur. Plowed the yard and prepared it for planting grass, built a fence around Fielder's house and cleaned up the woodland around his place, stopped all the washes on the hillsides and patched them against future rains as nearly as they may be, planted some 140 plants of crepe myrtle for hedge along our yard fence, partially cut ditches for water supply pipes, cleaned out the cistern, re-cemented it, and put in a pump. These are the main things, other than the completion of Bracey's work, of which I have spoken. Write me anything you may care to say regarding the place so that I may handle it before I leave. Margaret sends her love. When do you expect to return to Chinseegit? Love, Raymond.